What is going on, guys? This is Miasin. Today I will actually be teaching some of y'all a lesson regarding scooping in Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you should scoop when you feel like there's no way you can win, or if you just should never scoop. It's not gonna be like an in-depth analysis, but rather just one example of a game that I had absolutely no business winning. I actually had a 0% chance to win in theoretical theory, but I managed to win simply because my opponent did one incorrect move. So yeah, before we start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe. Again, let's jump right into it. So I'm going to be losing the dice roll. That was when I was trying to test my Cyber Dragon deck, as you obviously saw from my Cyber Dragon testing video. And I'm playing second against Prank Kids. Really insane hand, by the way. This is extremely good. So drop C's with Call by the Grave, Ash, Skullmeister, Pandemonium. The Ash is funny with Call by the Grave, so if I Meister him and he calls by the grave, he can't use Skullmeister. And if I Ash him and he calls by the grave, he can't use Ash on the next turn. So the call by the grave is almost like you have to think about it, but not really. Definitely not. But yeah, so this is not gonna resolve. Just insane hand though, just fantastic. So yeah, he's going to be making that Link 2. We can just fast forward at this point. Whatever, usual combo, searches for prank, so it's kind of obvious that he already has another Prank Kid card in the hand, at least one. Otherwise he wouldn't have done that, because he just would have searched the fusion spell instead. So I know for a fact that this is the fusion spell, so if I can MST or Cosmic or whatever on standby, I kind of win the game, but obviously I don't have access to that. I don't have that at all. But yeah, he's going to use the effect of a Bow Wow Bark on standby phase. Now, the most enraging thing about Wow Bark, it just pisses me off so much. I think this card has no business having this annoying effect. When you use the effect to tribute to recycle back to Prank Kids, your Prank Kids monsters can't be destroyed by card effects, and it's not just your Prank Kids that currently are on the field. It's not like the Weather Washer, I think. And being indestructible by card effects is pretty relevant. It really is. Like, you have no idea how freaking annoying the fusion monster Battle Butler is when it's indestructible by card effect. Like, even if I summon Dragoon, how am I beating the guy? I just can't. But yeah, whatever. So I'm going to Red Ice Fusion. He can't Ash me, like I said, because of the Call by the Grave. So if he were to Ash me and not chain Pandemonium, the game would have been over on the spot. So up until now, my opponent played perfectly, I think. But yeah, he's going to use he's going to be fusing right now. Obviously, you have to chain it. You can't use it on the resolution of Dragoon Summon. That just makes zero sense at all. But yeah, summon and then use the effect of all three Prank Kids. Obviously, can't do anything about that. Am I really going to waste Dragoon to negate like a Prank Kid and then still stay at 3k? Obviously not. Oh yeah, I keep freaking forgetting about like the burn 1,000 and like him gaining 1,000 life points, but whatever. All right, now I'm using emergency and I'm negating my own emergency. The reason for that is because, I don't know, like if he has a monster with only 3,000 attack or that can't get to like 4k, there's no way you can out the Dragoon. But the way you out the Dragoon is actually by making access code talker. I can't do anything about that. I really can't. I guess I'm attacking Wow Bark just so his road to access code is a bit harder, but I mean, like, come on. What does it really change? It changes nothing. And yeah, I get that hurts. Ash is like a garbage negate at this point. Polymerization is so good, like you would have thought there's just no way I can win here. This game is completely over. In theory, this is where I should actually scoop. Well, actually, this is maybe where the less experienced players would have scooped, but the most experienced players, just by drawing their hands, would realize that they just can't win, because even if you summon that Dragoon, this Dragoon does nothing at all. So what is going to happen now is my opponent actually going to realize that the access code is a play. Unfortunately, no. When he linked off all 4 monsters, I was like, are you trying to make an access code using 4 monsters? Because that doesn't work. You don't have a link. Well, actually, yeah, it does work. Like, you can use the Link 2 in the grave, but it's such a bad way to get there. Could have just used like a Link 2 as a material, well, a Link 2 using the 2 Prank Kids, and then use the effect of like the 2 Prank Kids to summon 2 monsters. I can't really do anything about that, and then make like a unicorn into access code, become 53, and then literally almost basically attack for game. But no, went for a Boral Sword. This Boral Sword does not out Dragoon unless I already used the effect of Dragoon on his own turn, but I didn't. Yeah, you can't use the effect to put my Dragoon in defense because it actually does target, and the effect to actually gain half of the attack does not work because I can just negate it. So maybe his thought process was the effect can't be responded by the opponent's player, but that's not the effect to gain. It's actually the other effect to put a monster in defense so he can get an additional attack. The guy actually basically just lost because of tilt. One thing that I really do have to state state as well is that I have lived this thing actually happen myself, actually losing, making like a huge misplay and then losing the game. Because of that, I also lost the game right after because I was in a really bad mood because of how incorrectly I played, and also because of potentially how unlucky I was actually. Well, the top 8 of YCS Niagara that I lost, people don't know that, but I phantasmade my opponent like 5 times in 2 games, and I drew countless cards, billions of times. I went through like 30 cards in my deck, and not a single time did I ever draw Emergency or Core or a combination of Trap Shake, Overflow, or Duster. Never, I never drew that. I really lost because of the brick, but on a game 1, if I played perfectly, despite my bricky hand, I actually still could have won. And because of just how I felt like I let myself down, I was just starting game 2 with like a really bad mentality, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, it doesn't matter if I play incorrectly, I'm gonna lose anyways, just like how I lost in game 1. I played like garbage, and I feel like even if I played that one really well, there was no way for me to win because my hand on game 2 was actually even worse than my hand on game 1. But yeah, so a good lesson that I have to give you guys, especially beginner players, scoop only when you know for a fact that you can't win, maybe because you're playing against an extremely good player who actually has a lot of advantage on you, and obviously if you don't want your opponent to know what kind of deck you're playing. But if, you know, you have nothing to lose, well, just play it out, because what is your excuse really? I just want to save time. The main reason why people scoop is actually so they can avoid showing their opponents their deck or their strategies, so your opponent doesn't side correctly against you. But as you advance in a YCS, everybody starts understanding and just knowing your deck so much that it doesn't matter. Like, you can literally be an unknown guy, and even Konami would actually say, oh, this guy's playing this deck, for example. So yeah, people are going to scout you, and this is the kind of strategy, like just playing and not scooping is actually a good strategy when you might think that you have a shot. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you guys were able to actually take something off of this, and if you did, make sure you actually let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know your weirdest experiences with not scooping and actually winning unwinnable games. I would really love to know what you guys actually went through, because I've played like thousands and thousands of tools in my life, and I can tell you that I've experienced a few of them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.